So a few days ago, before filming this video, I actually put up about 4 questions surrounding black tax on my community post for you guys to answer, just so I know how the direction of this video would go or what to say in this video that might be beneficial to you guys that are my community members. So the first question I put out there was, what's your biggest financial priority on payday? And about 27 of you voted or participated in the poll. Thank you so much for always engaging me in the community section here on YouTube. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put like a video, like a screen recording of what I'm talking about. Always check it out after you watch my YouTube video. There is always something engaging in that community tab. So 27 of you actually participated in this particular poll, and 88% of you guys said paying off your fixed expenses like rent, mortgage, utility are your biggest priority. And interesting, 8% of people said paying the black tax, that is supporting friends, family, and loved ones. And 4% said monitoring and adjusting their budget is their biggest priority. So what this question actually points to is that black tax is a thing, like it's a priority for people or it's a must for people. Now, the second question I posted was, how familiar are you with the concept of black tax? 23 people participated in this poll. 9% said somewhat familiar, and 30% said this is the first time they're hearing about it. And that question I asked in the community post was that, if you're familiar with black tax, have you ever felt financially strained by the expectations to support your extended family? 12 people participated in this poll, and 42% of that 12 people said yes, it has been a significant burden to them. 33% said yes, but they manage it well, like it's a burden, but they manage it well. 17% said they don't feel financially strained by it. It's fine. Maybe they are financially buoyant or they've put in structures in place to manage it, so it's fine with them. And 8% said they do not experience black tax. So it just goes to show that not everyone experiences black tax, to be fair. And that question I asked about black tax, like another poll I put up on my community tab about black tax, was that, what strategies do you find most effective in managing black tax? 7 of you participated in this poll as at the time I'm making this video, and 71% said creating and sticking to a budget helps them manage it well. 29% said educating and empowering friends and family helps them with that, and 0% for the remaining 3 options that were there. So basically, why I posted this on my community tab is just to get an inkling into people's perception on black tax, how it has affected them financially and how they manage it. Now, for those of you who said they do not know what black tax is, or that was the first time they're coming across black tax is a term deeply rooted in the cultural fabric of African and African diaspora communities. It refers to the financial responsibility often shouldered by black professionals to support their extended families. Now, this expectation stems from historical and socio-economical factors where black families faced financial difficulties due to systematic inequalities. While supporting family and friends by those who are successful in the black community is often seen as a way to give back and uplift one's community, it can also be a significant burden leading to financial strains and emotional stress. Like in my poll, you could see that some of the people who participated in that poll said they actually feel burdened by black tax. Now, black tax is not a formal obligation, but rather a cultural expectation that successful individuals, especially the first in their family to achieve financial stability, will provide for their parents, siblings, extended family, or friends. Now, when it comes to black tax can take many forms, including paying for education, paying for housing, paying for living expenses, or even paying to support someone's lifestyle. Now, it is worth noting that black tax does not pertain to African and diaspora communities. People from other ethnicities also experience black tax. While the desire to help family and friends is noble, right, it's a privilege and it's an honor, it can become overwhelming when one feels obliged to fulfill this expectation at the expenses of one's financial security. Because if black tax is not appropriately handled, it can be a source of financial stress and it can keep you broke. So in this video, I will share strategies of handling black tax effectively, ensuring you can support your family and friends while securing your own financial future. Now in the comment section, tell me how you have experienced black tax and tell me how you manage black tax. So one of the most empowering steps in managing black tax is open and honest communication with your family to manage expectations regularly. To be fair, having open and honest communication when it comes to black tax is not always an easy thing to do. But you need to have this communication so that you'll be able to communicate your financial situation and the limits of what you can do. It is very important you communicate this because this is like the first step in managing black tax efficiently. Likewise, when you are having honest and open communication about what you can do, what you cannot do about your financial situation with your family to manage their expectation, it is important to respectfully clarify that while you're willing to help them, you must actually secure your own financial future first. Open and honest communication can also prevent misunderstanding and manage expectation. Because if a sibling or a parent is expecting you to do something because they feel you are financially capable and you're not, but you're not just doing that thing, they will feel as though you're selfish, you don't want to help out, but you honestly do not have that money to give at that point in time, or you're not financially stable at that point in time. But they don't know this if you don't communicate, if you don't tell them. So it is very important to have those communication about your finances. Like for instance, if you regularly pay a sibling's tuition fee or you regularly pay for a parent's medication, and unfortunately you lost your job and you can't foot that bill, instead of those people expecting you to make that payment every month, and you're not making the payment and everybody's wondering why you're not making this payment, and you've not had that communication with them and say, this is why I cannot make the payment, or this is why I have to cut the payment I would normally make on this particular thing for you. You have to communicate about your finances because you've lost your job at that time and there's nowhere you can get money from. It's not wise to dip into your emergency fund at that moment, because your emergency fund is for you to bounce back on until you get another job and to pay for your own cost of living. So it's always very important to communicate. Now, let me give another example that is usually prevalent in the diaspora community, especially amongst new immigrants. So for instance, you just migrated to a new country, right? And money is a bit tight because let's say you've not gotten a job, you're still relying on the money you brought from your home country, or let's say you're still doing minimum wage job that is just covering only your basic cost of living. And people back home are expecting that since my son or my sibling is abroad now, he or she will send money to me regularly to maybe sustain my lifestyle or to pay for my rent or to pay for my cost of living. And then you're not sending the money and everybody's wondering, okay, why are you not sending money to us? And you yourself, you're being distant because you don't want to disappoint people, or you have not communicated your financial situation to them. Do you get what I mean? So it's important to communicate. If possible, occasionally talk about your own struggles too, so that your friends and family do not think you have everything all figured out when you just move to a new country and you're not picking up some bills your family expects you to pay. Do you get what I mean? So it's very important that when you're managing black tax, you should actually communicate openly to people. And what I want to say is, you being in a position to help your family is a privilege, like is an opportunity a lot of people will give anything to have. I'm not against black tax. I'm for you managing black tax in a way that you don't jeopardize your own financial situation. Because there's this illustration a good mentor of mine would like to say when it comes to finances and black tax. My mentor would say, when you're traveling on air, right? When you enter, you sit down, you put your seatbelt on, and the flight is about to take off. A video will come up telling you what to do in case there's a crash or what to do in case of an emergency, right? And there's one video they will normally play once you're flying by air. They will tell you, if for any reason the oxygen masks are released, they will tell you, please wear yours first before helping another person wear theirs. Now, if you want to translate it to your finances, it means you have to financially secure your future first before considering any other person, because if anything happens to you financially, you will not even be in a position, you will not have the privilege to help another person. So that is why you have to have honest and open communication about your financial situation to manage expectation of what you can and cannot do at a given time. Secondly, setting clear boundaries through honest and open communication with your family would help you feel confident and assertive in managing black tax. So you see why it's important to have honest and open communication with your family members, because it will actually help you set boundaries, because black tax should not be driven by guilt, it should not be driven by bullying, emotional blackmail, entitlement, manipulation, pressure, or shame. It should be a tax you're willing to pay joyfully. I am a Christian, and when it comes to giving, I'm always big on 2 Corinthians 9:7. It says, each one must give as he has decided in his heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. So when it comes to helping your friends and family, you have to do it joyfully. You have to be cheerful about it. It's a privilege. It's an honor to be able to help. You have to be able to do it joyfully. Your friends and family should not be taking out loans or purchasing things in the hopes that you will pay for them without having a conversation about it with you first. If they do that, it means that you have not set clear boundaries, or that they are not respectful of the boundaries you have set. That is why you need to have this communication all over again when they do things like this. Because when they do things like this, they put you in a difficult position where you have to compromise on your own finances, in the sense that you have to take out of your emergency funds to bail them out, or you might not be able to invest or put money in your emergency fund that month because you have to bail somebody who have taken a loan, thinking you will be the one to pay for that loan. Likewise, if your friends and family constantly take out loan or buy things in hopes that you will pay for it, you have to get to a point where you're comfortable in saying no. Because that is a way to nip that kind of behavior in the bud. Let them go find a way to look for how they'll pay for that loan or how they will buy that thing, since they refuse to have a conversation with you first before doing what they did. It's a different thing if they have a conversation with you first and then you say, okay, go on to take the loan. I will pay for it. I will set up a payment plan to help you pay for it. Or go on and buy that thing. I will pay for it. That's a different thing. But they're not going to do it at your back because they know that, yes, they have someone who is abroad and obviously that person is earning in pounds or dollars. That person will pay it for me. It doesn't matter. No, that should not be. You should be comfortable in saying no if they do it repeatedly. There was a time where in Nigeria, this thing was rampant, where people will go and take out a loan, and then the people they took out the loan from, they'll be calling their friends and family, embarrassing them. It was a mess. I heard of a story where there was a family where someone in their family had taken out a loan without telling any of them, and the loan was overdue. And these people who took out the loan from started calling and harassing the family members to pay up the money. The first time this person did it, the family members gathered around and pay up that money. The second time this person did it, family members gathered around and pay up the money. The third time, everybody was fed up and they said, no. However you will find this money, find the money. To be fair, I had this story on Your View, so I don't know how the story ended, but can you just imagine? Can you imagine why will you do that to your family? Like, you shouldn't be doing things like that. You shouldn't. Another way to set clear boundaries is that you do not have to contribute to every family project or meet every need. Teach your people to respect your boundaries. For instance, one of your siblings is getting married. That's a joyous thing. You contribute. It's a project. Now, if that person finishes getting married and the person gives birth and they say, Labaja does give birth and we need money to pay up the SPDP. To be fair, you don't need to contribute to that, because that Labaja had 9 whole months to prepare. Lagbaja knows that I'm pregnant or I will have a baby soon. Lagbaja had 9 months, a whole 9 months to prepare, and Lagbaja did not prepare. So to be fair, it's based on your discretion if you want to give or you don't want to give. So you don't need to contribute to every project or you don't need to meet every need. Now, taking a minute to think about this, we all have relatives whom, irrespective of the situation, nobody can pressure them to contribute financially to a family project or need. Not because they don't have or because they are selfish or they are stingy. It's just because they have communicated clearly and set boundaries. Like over time, they know that for this person to contribute, it will be from that person's will. And that is how it should be when it comes to your money. Now, the third way to manage black tax is to create a budget and a payday routine. Now, generosity towards family and friends is scriptural and it is vital. But it doesn't mean that the person you do for will do for you. So when you're helping or giving money, give it with love and not with expectation. And to do this effectively, you have to establish a budget that includes allocation for supporting family and friends. Now, what I mean that you should give out with love and not with expectation is that it's not the person you do for that will do for you. When you're in time of financial need, it's not those people you have helped financially that would help you. Because at that time, maybe they don't have or they are not buoyant enough to help you. But if you do it out of love, God in His infinite mercy will raise people that would help you in your time of need. Now, when you're helping, especially in regards to black tax, don't put it in your mind that, oh, because I help my sibling financially, when it's my turn, my sibling will help me financially. No. You don't do that because you will be highly disappointed if you do that. Now, one Bible verse that stands out to me when it comes to allocating money to support your family and friends, when it comes to creating your budget, is Luke 6:38. It says, give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your laps. The amount you give will be determined the amount you get back. Now, this Bible verse does not mean that if you give £1, you will receive £1 back. No. It just means that when you give, God will also give back to you. So it is important that you budget the money that you will give people. So it is important you create and maintain a budget so that you can manage black tax more efficiently. Financial success means nothing when your friends and family are struggling financially. You have to help out. But to do this effectively, you have to create a budget and stick to it and allocate money to your friends and family. Allocate money you use to help them. And once the allocated money is finished, that is the end for the month if you budget monthly. If you budget weekly, once the weekly money you allocate to supporting friends and family is finished, that is the end. If it's yearly your budget, once the money you allocate yearly to support family and friends is finished, that is the end, because that just shows you that you can't help financially more than what you've done, because from your budget you already know your capacity. Also, creating a budget will allow you to balance your financial needs with those of your family. If you do not plan your finances, other people will help you plan your finances for their own needs. And a well-structured budget will even help you yourself avoid overspending and ensure that you are saving for your future. Now, when it comes to budgeting and people asking you for financial help, before you promise or commit to any financial obligation, check that budget you have created first. It will help you avoid being in that awkward situation where Lagbaja has asked you for money. You have promised Lagbaja that you will give Lagbaja money. And then you didn't check your budget. You just promised that, oh, don't worry, tomorrow I'll send you the money. And all of a sudden, you were like, oh, let me just check my budget before I send this money. And then you check your budget and you see that you cannot help Lagbaja because the £50 you thought you would give Lagbaja tomorrow, that's the £50 you need to pay for your car tire, or that's the £50 you need to pay for your water bill. But you've promised it to Lagbaja. Now you're now in the awkward situation of saying, because I've already promised Lagbaja, I can't go back on my word. I have to be a person of my word, so I have to give Lagbaja the £50. I'll sort myself out, or next month I'll pay it. That's how you go into debt because of black tax. And that should not be. If only you have checked the budget before you committed to Lagbaja, it would have saved you a lot of headache. Likewise, I would suggest that you have a payday routine to manage your money wisely. A payday routine involves a set of regular to-do lists that would help you manage your finances each time you receive your paycheck. Having a payday routine will also help you get better with budgeting and spending control by ensuring essential expenses are covered first, reducing the risk of overspending or overpromising. Because if you have a payday routine and when they pay your paycheck, you pay all your fixed expenses your savings before you start allocating to giving and all of that. You see, developing a payday routine can certainly help you manage black tax. By having a structured financial plan in place, you can ensure that you allocate a portion of your income specifically to meet obligations to support your extended family. This way, you can ensure that you strike a balance between meeting your personal financial goals and fulfilling your responsibilities towards your family. With that said, I have a video on this channel where I share my payday routine and how I constantly save, manage, and invest my money. Now, the fourth way to handle black tax effectively is to prioritize your financial goals while fulfilling family obligation. You see, prioritizing your financial goals might include saving for retirement or for emergency fund or saving for a visa or investing in your education or business. Focusing on your financial stability will allow you to eventually offer more sustainable help to your family without endangering your future. Now, if you must pause black tax for a while to pay off a loan or to save for an emergency fund or to save to pay off your visa, please do so, because if you are not financially stable, you cannot help anyone financially. Let's don't deceive ourselves. You cannot help anyone if you cannot help yourself financially. Like the illustration I made at the beginning of the video where I used the example of the airlines. When you're flying, they will tell you, oh, please, in case of emergency, wear your own oxygen mask first before helping others. Now, to give you a personal example, my husband and I actually paused our black tax for a while because we're trying to pay off existing loans that even came about through black tax and to save up for our indefinite leave to remain application, because in a few months' time we'll be applying for our indefinite leave to remain and it will cost us around £10,000. And I'm sure by next year UK government might change the price of applying for indefinite leave to remain, because we have about 18 months to apply for our indefinite leave to remain. Now, save for £10,000, it takes a long time. So right now, we've paused black tax because we want to start saving towards it, so that when it's time to apply for indefinite leave to remain, we will have money to apply. So that we too will not be calling other people and be black tax for other people saying, please, do you have this money to help us with? No. We don't want to put people in that situation where we'll be calling them to help us to pay for our visas. So we are saving money now, and that's why we pause black tax for a while. Now, moving on, you don't always have to throw money at every family problem. Educating and empowering your family and friends to become financially independent is crucial in managing black tax. Everything is not about money. Now, this education and empowerment could include helping them with financial literacy, encourage them to pursue education or job opportunities, or assisting in setting up a small business or creating a budget. You know, the goal of this is actually to reduce your family's dependency on your income over time. You want everybody to be financially buoyant. You know, you want to do so that everybody can be financially okay, so that you are not only the source of income for everyone, so that everyone can have financial stability, so that if you're doing anything for anyone in your family financially, you're doing it because you just want to do it out of will, out of share giving, or out of, oh, someone is celebrating birthday, you're buying them a car, or you're gifting them a trip because it's their birthday or it's their anniversary. Not that because it's a necessity, like, oh, I have to pay for this person's rent. Oh, I have to do this for this person, because if I don't do this for this person will not survive. Or, no. You know, you want everybody to be comfortable financially. That's the aim of educating and empowering your family. Now, I'll give you guys a personal example. When my younger brother actually started his first corporate job here in the UK, I actually helped him set up a budget, help him manage his finances wisely, and to reduce the likelihood of him relying on me or even my parents for financial support, because this is the first time he's doing a corporate job. Now, his corporate job is paying him quite all right. He's financially fine, but if he does not know how to manage his money or budget his money, he will squander that money and he will still meet me or my mom or my dad for his rent. So I know that he doesn't understand how to budget. And obviously they don't teach this in schools. I feel they should actually be teaching financial skills in schools, but they don't. Now, I know that is an undergrad, first corporate job, first placement, you know, money has come, big tech money, he wants to go out with friends, travel, you know the things international students who have money do, you know. And then he will forget that, oh, I have to pay my rent because normally my sister will always pay for it or my parents will always pay for it. Forgetting that now he's working, that responsibility is his. Traveling everywhere is not his responsibility. His responsibility is to pay his own rent, his own feeding and everything, and not depend on us for that. Basic things like that. So you don't have to always throw money at things. Now I've helped him budget his money for the next 3 months, because after 3 months, I know he'll be able to budget things by itself. That's how it works. It's not as though my brother does not have the money. He has the money to pay for his rent and pay for his cost of living. It's just that he's not well equipped to manage that money. And I knew he wasn't well equipped to manage that money. So immediately he got his job, before they even paid him the money, I drew up a budget, sent him resources about budgeting so that he'll know how to manage his money. So little things like that. Every financial problem in your family is not about money, to be fair. Another way to manage black tax efficiently is by building a support system. You see, handling black tax is not just about managing finances. It also involves dealing with it emotionally. So it is essential to have support system, whether friends, mentors, or professional counselors who can help you navigate black tax emotional complexity. You see, sharing your experience with others who understand can also help you reduce isolation and the stress that comes with black tax. Now, like I mentioned earlier in this video, there are people who maybe they are the first to travel abroad, and let's say they started sending money back home, family members already thinking, oh, this person already has money. And then they start to blackmail them emotionally so that they do more than what they can afford. Yes, there are family like that where, because one of their family members is abroad and already sending money back home to them, they expect that person to do more. They start to overdo, thinking, oh, that person will bail us out. Like the story I shared with you where someone went to take loan, expecting his family members to pay up the loan for that person. Things like that, those are emotional blackmails, and it should not be. Now, if you're watching this video and you have a family member that always helps you financially, don't blackmail that person emotionally. Don't do things to put that person in a space where they feel financially tight. They might not communicate to you. They might not tell you that, oh, you borrowing that money and expecting me to pay for it is not good. You shouldn't have done that. Some people don't know how to communicate that, but in a way, it makes them emotionally stressed, because they might not even have that money. A lot of people will think, oh, because they're in UK, they're in US, oh, one pound is about 2,000 naira. $1 is about maybe 1,800. I'm not sure about that. Like if they send me like 10 pounds, that's like 20k. What is 20k they cannot pay for me? Do you know what 10 pounds does for people here in the UK? There was this story I watched on YouTube. I think it was ITV or BBC, I'm not sure, about cost of living crisis here in the UK. Where this woman in that video was saying 10 pounds was a lot for her. 10 pounds was a lot. So that 10 pounds they will send to you, some of you will even say thanks. Some of you will say, 10 pounds, so they send to me. It's actually plenty money for some people here in the UK. If you give some people here in the UK 10 pounds to thank you, a lot of diasporans you think they are doing well are not doing well like you think. Things are difficult, like the UK. There's a cost of living crisis where energy bills are soaring, food prices are going high, rent prices are going high. So the 60 pounds that you expect your sibling to send, or even your parents to send to you, might be the 60 pounds their landlord have added to their rent. So that means in a month, they'll be paying 60 pounds extra on what they are paying with their rent. So let's say they're paying 100 pounds per month for their rent. Now landlord has added 60 pounds. So now they are paying 160 pounds. So that 60 pounds they were sending to you, maybe that's what they want to use to cover up the difference for their rent. You don't know. So please stop putting unnecessary pressure on people, because it really affects people emotionally. So please stop putting unnecessary financial pressure on people where you go and do stupid things financially, thinking your sibling abroad or your parents abroad will bail you out. No, please, let's stop doing that. Now, the last but not the least way to manage black tax is through self-care. It is important to practice self-care. Balancing your well-being with the demands of black tax can be challenging, but take care of your mental, physical, and emotional health. Please, it's important to take care of yourself. Now, your self-care routine might include setting aside time and money for your hobbies, exercise or relaxation and seeking support when needed, like seeking and paying for professional support when needed. Set money aside for these things. Stop having the mentality of, oh, the £50 I should have spent to eat very well this week, if I slash it to £25 and send £25 back home, at least £25 will be all right for them back home, and me, I'll manage £25. Maybe I'll just eat only in the afternoons and in the evening. I will not eat breakfast. No, self-care is very important. Obviously, it might not be in the point where you're taking trips. Instead of taking holiday, you prefer to send the money back home. That's fine. But essential things like feeding, setting aside money for hobby, going out. UK is very depressing. I don't know for America and Canada, but there was a time they made UK, or they gave UK the award of the most depressed country in the world. UK is very depressing. You need to set out money to be able to care for yourself. Enjoy the money you are making. Black tax is not about putting your needs before your extended family or friends. It's about taking care of your well-being first and your financial well-being first before that of your family. Because if you are not okay, you can't provide and support them financially if needed. For example, if you work extra jobs or take extra shifts to support your extended family and friends, ensure you take time out to care for yourself. Please, it's important. Yes, there are people in this UK that their normal 9-to-5 job cannot even cover their own bills, talk more of helping family and friends. So what they will do is they will take extra work, maybe part-time job, or they'll take extra shifts just to support their family and friends. That's a privilege, that's an honor, that's an honorable thing to do. It's a good thing to do, but please, take care of yourself and find time for your immediate family if you're married and you have kids. You see, find time to spend time with your spouse and your children if you're doing that. Because it might bring resentment where you're just working to support your own family here in the UK and support your family back home, that you don't have time for family time. It causes divorce. It can cause hatred in marriage. It can even cause separation in marriage. So please, take time out to take care of yourself and your immediate family if you're taking extra shift or doing extra job to support your family back home. Now, when it comes to black tax, do not feel like you are the savior, or don't let anybody make you feel like you are the savior when it comes to black tax. Because if you do not exist, you see that family and friend that is making you feel as though you are the savior. Without you, they would have not ate, they would have not slept, they would have not done this, they would have not done that. If you are not alive today, if you stop to exist today, they will find other ways to solve their financial problems. So don't let anybody make you feel like, oh, without you, we could not have done anything, or without you, we cannot do anything. Take time out to take care of yourself. In conclusion, managing black tax requires balancing family obligations and maintaining personal financial stability. By setting boundaries, budgeting wisely, prioritizing financial goals, and seeking support, you and your family can sustainably navigate this complex issue. Remember that while giving back is essential, a privilege, and an honor, ensuring you are not sacrificing your financial future is equally important. Now, if you are experiencing financial stress due to any reason at all, including black tax, watch the video on your screen right now. It will provide valuable guidance on navigating financial stress.